of the day. So it'd be interesting to see how many.
Yeah, if there's no one here, don't worry. I'm not. No, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, we've definitely got a couple. Hello, Harry. Just a reminder to everyone, if you can just let us know where you are from. Phil Sanders. Hello, Phil. So yeah, just so it'd be interesting to see how many.
Yeah, if there's no one here, don't worry. I'm not. No.
Yeah, so if I can just ask people just to write in the chat where you're from, that would be great. Be great to find out where people are from and what their roles are. Just whilst we let everyone come into the session. Just a reminder to people, Tony works with TOTUM in Union Cloud. He'll be leading the session, but we'll just give it a few minutes for people to come in on these sessions. Just to remind people that all these talks are being live streamed and recorded. So at any point you can go back and replay all the great stuff that Tony or any of our other talks are saying, but in exactly the same regards in, you know, if you've missed sessions, you can obviously catch them later. Just a reminder for people to stay tuned and be involved over the next few days. There's loads and loads of great stuff, and it's all free. How often do you get freebies in life these days? All we ask you to do is be engaging, try and be involved, use our hashtag SU20Digital. If there's anything that you like or you don't like, we appreciate feedback either way. And that's about it. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do a couple of things. So I'm going to hand over to Tony now. Tony, you've got as long as you need to tell us everything about TOTUM and what's been going on. So I'll hand over to you.
Okay, hello everybody. Just check if you could someone could tell me if they can hear me okay. I'll just look in the chat just to make sure the mic is working. I'm sure it is.
All clear, yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, well, as I said, my name is Tony Payne and I'm going to talk to you all about TOTUM. So there's loads of video content in this presentation, so sit back, put your popcorn on and enjoy.
I don't know about you, but one hop out to jump in, hop out to watch what I say and how I do it.
If you don't love me now, you gon' love me tomorrow. If you don't love me now, you gon' love me tomorrow. Yeah.
You're gonna love me, you're gonna love me, you're gonna love me. You're gonna love me, you're gonna love me, you're gonna love me.
So welcome along today to our session about TOTUM. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the product, all the different bits that you can get involved with, whether you're involved with membership services, commercial services, whether you're an officer or a member of staff. Hopefully most people know a little bit about TOTUM, but I will sort of start from a position. If you don't know anything about it at all, you'll by the end of the session, you'll know hopefully everything that you need to know. So I'm just going to start with another bit of video. So as you can see from that video, TOTUM comes in two different formats. What we're calling now TOTUM Digital, which is the TOTUM app, which is free for students to download. They can verify their place of study and get access to over 100 discounts now. This is a new pivot for us for this year. You might remember last year we trialed something called TOTUM Lite. We've expanded this now to really kind of challenge things like student beans and uni days, offering a huge number of discounts to students for absolutely nothing, so that when you're talking to them, and they go, well, do I need this? I've already got, you know, this platform or that platform. You can say that's completely fine. Get TOTUM Digital, and you can decide. Then on top of that, we've got the traditional TOTUM card, which is $14.99 for 1 year, $24.99 for 3 years. That's $24.99 for 3 years, a real bargain to be had until Christmas. And that is the plastic card that also includes the proof of age ID and access to a huge number of exclusive discounts that we have, including things like the co-op. You can see some of the discounts here. As I said, over 300 different brands on the high street and online. Depending on what's open, obviously we've kind of tried to pivot to lots of kind of more online subscription stuff, but the traditional stuff that we're known for, things like Odeon, Co-op, Pizza Express, we've added to with things like Grenade and Fender, and a range of other things. And here's just some examples of some of the brands that we offer and how they work. So we obviously think about the market in a fairly segmented way, and that we know that there's, you know, a lot of customers both in further education and higher education that buy the card when they start their institution. We also know there's a lot of mature students that are maybe a bit more aware of their budgets and want to save money, and we certainly try and make sure that there's a good offer for them. And we also know that a lot of parents will look at the card as a benefit for the whole family, and buy a card that helps out across the board, whether they're living at home or living away from home. And as part of the work that we do is linking with influencers and working with brands. So here's a really good example of some stuff that we've done recently, working with an influencer and Co-op. I just need to turn this down.
And easy recipes that you can make in the comfort of your own home whilst we're stuck in lockdown. We all find it really hard at the minute, and personally I find being in the kitchen really helps take my mind off everything that's going on. So I've actually just been to the Co-op to buy a few shopping items to make these recipes, and I actually got 10% off using my TOTUM discount card. So let me show you what I picked up to make these recipes. I managed to pick up a bag of salad, a tin of plum tomatoes, some bread, eggs, ground cinnamon, sugar, garlic mayonnaise, pork sausages, spinach, milk, some apples, chilies, wraps and some halloumi. For this recipe I will be making some apple and cinnamon French toast muffins. For this all you'll need is 4 slices of bread, 1 apple, but pears and bananas would work too, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 250 millilitres of milk and 2 eggs. I mix these together first. All you need to do is mix it all together, put it in a baking tray in a preheated 180 degrees oven for around 25 minutes until golden brown and cooked in the middle. These muffins are so quick and easy to do and are perfect for a snack or even for your breakfast in the morning. And that's just one recipe I made using the items I picked up from the Co-op. If you want to see another 2 recipes with the rest of the items, please keep an eye out for more recipe videos. And also, if you want a student discount from the Co-op, please head over to TOTUM's website for more information about getting a student discount card.
So there you go, that's an example of some of the content that we've produced recently. And I bet you didn't expect that, as well as learning about TOTUM, you learn how to make some muffins at the same time. So in terms of the app, I'm just going to take you through how the onboarding process works. Students can access obviously the app through the Android or Apple Store, and to get on they just need to add an email address and some other details, passwords, sign up to the terms and conditions and go through on the app. We then ask them for some personal details, including obviously their date of birth. People need to be 16 to be able to access it. We also ask for course of study and some other information, and then we look at eligibility to get them to verify. So there's 2 main ways people can verify. One is through email, so they put in their student email address, so their .ac.uk address, which here you can see an example from Westminster, and that sends them an email and they verify and they're good to go. Or they can use their student portal using the UK Federation logins that you might use for things like Wi-Fi and other pieces around your institution. And as long as they're a student and within your student user group at your institution, they'll be able to access TOTUM that way, much quicker than having to wait for an email. Just be aware that if staff are trying to access it through a portal, they may well not be in the right user group, and that might cause a problem, so they'll need to use email. Once they've done that, they're in the app and away they go. But I'm just going to show you quickly this video, which also shows you the ID function. So I'm just going to skip through to this point here, where students can upload photos. And we've done a lot of work on ID photos so that students get a decent quality photo. We were getting a lot of very poor photos, and here you can see how this works. So with our proof of age card, it's approved by the PASS scheme, and it links to a passport or driving license. And the way that you do that is by scanning either of those two documents into the app and then doing a liveness check, and I'll just take you through that now.
Automatically. However, sometimes it can take a few seconds, so be patient here. Be sure to avoid glare and keep the document within the guidelines provided. Review and confirm that the details extracted from your document are accurate. ID step 2. Prove you're human by following some basic instructions on the camera. Don't worry, nobody will be watching the video. A computer will be ensuring that you're human by checking that you've followed the instructions. At this point, we're checking that your document is valid, that you're over 16 years old, that the same face is on the document and in the video, and that you're a human. Sometimes we will need to run some extra checks to be 100% certain, so you may have to wait a day or so for us to check. We'll email you when the checks are complete. ID step 3. Provide a passport-style photo. This photo must adhere to the UK passport guidelines, because Pass ID is an official government-backed proof of age ID. That means you should be in front of a plain, light-coloured background with no shadows behind you, no headwear or sunglasses on, keeping a plain expression with your mouth closed and looking straight on. We're also checking at this point that the photo you have provided matches the photo on the document that you scanned. Complete the truthfulness declaration. This is the boring but important legal bit. We're now checking that the photo you have provided meets the UK passport photo guidelines. This can take up to a couple of days at peak times, so please be patient. We'll email you once we're done, or if we need a better photo from you. Once your photo has been accepted, your card will be printed and posted to you. Go and enjoy all those awesome TOTUM benefits.
So, there you go. That's how you can get your proof of age ID. And it's useful if you just need to show students, we can share that video with you. Just to give you some examples of how the national discounts work. It's a very easy way to find the discounts that you want. There's a number of menus at the top that you can browse through. We've added very recently home and garden. With everybody being in lockdown, we've noticed that people are sat around at home looking at what they can do in terms of improvements. And this is probably our most used area over the last 2 or 3 months. And if you've ever used one of these discount platforms before, very similar, find the discount that you want. You can either browse it or you can use the search functionality, and that enables you to find the brand that you want. So here's the search functionality that you can see. And once you've found the one that you want, so this is for a bouquet delivery service, click the get offer, and then that unique code takes you through to the website and you can start saving your money. One of the main benefits of TOTUM above things like uni days and student beans is obviously that we're enable you to add local offers. So if you're thinking about freshers fairs or working with local partners in your institution, you're able to add these into the app under the local offers. It's all completely free, and we are happy for you to charge brands to appear on there if you think that's going to be useful, but obviously make sure that you can demonstrate that you're going to get some engagement before you take any money. So it might be worth trialing this. It's worth including this in your packs if you are bringing people on for brand partners in terms of your student union. To add them to TOTUM, it's very simple, and there's a link here that you're able to do that, and I'll share that with you at the end. The other part of TOTUM that is unique to us and that you won't find in Beans and Uni Days is coupons. So I was talking to an institution today that are doing a sort of scavenger hunt style activity as part of their welcome. And what they want to do is give everyone a free tea and coffee at the end. So what they're going to do is to put a coupon into the app. And the last activity will be to download the TOTUM app. And once they've downloaded the TOTUM app, they'll get a free tea or coffee at the institution coffee bar. So we can customize these for you, and they can be done to reward any type of behavior or incentivize anything that you want to do within the institution. This is obviously an example for a national brand hotels, but the coupons are one time only. You can't use them again and again, unlike an offer. And then moving on to more of the membership stuff, the first point of call is really groups. So if you've got a Union Cloud website, an MSL website, all of your groups come across automatically. If you're using another web platform, we're able to offer you the integration through something called TOTUM Community. And here you can see all the groups listed. So it's an example from Canterbury where students can see that there's a green group. If they're interested, it pushes them straight through onto the Union Cloud platform. They can then log in very easily. You know, here is quite convoluted, but if you've got a single sign-on system, this wouldn't come up. And then once you've done that, you can go through and join the group. And we hope that that's going to be really useful, again, in terms of freshers and welcome, that you can list all of your groups and students can sign up. And again, here you can charge or not charge, depending on what you want to do. If you just want to collect interest, you don't have to charge. But if you do think that there's going to be an expense needed, you can add charges within Union Cloud, but also this works within MSL and other Union platforms as well, I'm sure. Next thing is events. So here you can see, again, once you've got your place of study verified, you can see events here. We've just listed one as example. Be nice to be thinking about running freshers balls. I'm not quite sure that we'll be running them, but here the show tickets button can direct anywhere on the internet. So it can be an Eventbrite site, it can be a Facebook event, anything that you want. Again, automatically comes through on Union Cloud and MSL, and then students can go through, see tickets, and interact with that event. Again, it could link to a Zoom meeting or a Teams call. If you've got that link, you can link across to those as well. And then the final part that hopefully sets us apart from Uni Days is the notification. So we are allowing you the opportunity to send messages to students direct to their phones so that you can tell them everything that's going on during your welcome period or at any point during the year. So it could be elections, it could be, as I said, online events, it could be any sort of messaging that you want to deliver. Again, you can link anywhere on the internet. It doesn't have to be a Union Cloud website or your own website. It can be a YouTube link. It can be a social media post, anything that you want. And again, you're allowed to do, at the moment, one of these once a week with us. And as you grow your numbers on the app, we'll allow you to do more if that's something that you want. And hopefully that gives you a really useful platform to be able to engage students above and beyond emails and social media posts. The other thing to remember here is that all the messages sit in the top left-hand corner of the app, so they don't disappear like a Snapchat message. They sit there and students can refer back to them. So if you want to post some welcome information early on, students can then go back and refer to that as well. And hopefully that will really help you in terms of that engagement throughout your year and generate that sense of belonging. Just to show you some stuff coming up, this actually is going live now. We're just testing a new format and layout for the app, which will be in a new video fairly soon. So you'll see a greater headline at the top in terms of the offers, but also more stuff around the news that we produce. So we have a content team that produce a huge range of shareable content around student news and student life, and a mixture of fun and serious stuff. And then also backed by popular demand from the old NUS Extra days is the map, where we will be allowing you to be able to use your GPS to be able to say, I'm here, where are the offers that I can use if you're in a high street or shopping centre, so that you can make the most of the TOTUM app while you're out and about, now the shops are all open. And then just to talk about the commercials, we have changed these quite considerably. If you've not been paying much attention to TOTUM over the last couple of years, the incentive is twofold really, which is a discount or a reward really based on the number of people that use your app once a week. So as long as they're pressing something on the app, so whether that's an offer, a group, an event, a notification, that counts as an engagement. And if they engage every week, they count towards the quarterly reward, which is based on 2.5% of our total sales. So last year, if you were a student and you used the app every week, you as a union would get £4 for that student. And we hope that this year, really with all of the extra content that you can add and the opportunities to do digital engagement, you can really start to generate both some money, but also a lot of engagement through the TOTUM app. And then the other part is obviously 12.5% of all the card sales. So we are encouraging still people to buy a card, but we think probably that downloading the app is going to be the primary call to action. So it's up to you in terms of what you want to do around talking to your students about app versus card sales, and you guys will know better than we do what message will land with your student body. And just to show you the card, As I said at the start, the card is a qualified proof of age ID through the pass scheme. There are 2 versions. One is an 18+ version, which you can see here, and there is a 16 and 17 version. So if you have got students at college, they can still make use of it if they want to use it for the cinema or discounted bus or train travel in your area. So it does have some benefits on both sides in FE and HE. So hopefully you can see some benefits there. And obviously it's a lot cheaper than losing your passport or your driving license if you're going out in the 18+ world. So that we hope is a really useful selling point of TOTUM as a paid product. And just to show you, this is some of the new point of sale that we've got coming out this year. So these are all accessible through our website. We've really changed the tone in terms of the app versus the card. So we'll be much more flagging up the card and mentioning these 3 things. So when I'm trying to explain TOTUM to people quickly, I say it's one product in 2 different ways, which is the app and the card, and it does 3 things. That's discounts, ID, and information about your campus life. And hopefully that is a really easy way to explain what TOTUM is. I know it's been a challenge for a number of people over the last couple of years to kind of explain what TOTUM is comparative to other products and other things that we do. And also you'll see probably a lot of direct social media B2C marketing that we do. We've realized that actually using our brand is the best way to promote TOTUM. So you'll see stuff if you follow us on Instagram or on Facebook, that a lot of the stuff will be brand led rather than TOTUM led. This will start to change over freshers, where we're starting to do a bit more of partnership stuff, and you'll see a bit more of a 50-50. But an ad like this, where we're promoting the co-op discount, which is our #1 discount in TOTUM, has really helped us in terms of justifying sales and building sales through the market. And then finally, all our information, everything we have is on totum.com. It's a really good source of content if you are struggling for stuff for your website, to keep up regular posts and keep your students engaged with your platform. There's always stuff on there, 2 or 3 posts a day. And we do a lot of video content. I'm just going to show you an example of some stuff that we've done really recently, working with SOS UK, the sustainability charity, NUS and NZ.
When the news first broke out about coronavirus,
as a student, didn't think it would affect me that much.
I mean, I'm young, I'm healthy.
I'm good looking. Or so my mom tells me anyway.
I don't think any of us knew that things would change as much as they have in such a short space of time. But it turns out, they can.
1 minute, I was on my way to lectures with my friends, and then the next, I was back home away from a lot of the relationships that I've built.
The food is better, so I suppose you do win some.
Our worlds shrunk overnight.
A massive part of uni is the socialising aspect of it. So to not get to do that right now, yeah, it's pretty tough.
And a lot of people are worrying about how they'll make new friends or how they'll catch up with old ones at uni when we have to socially distance, but we'll find a way. We'll adapt.
We're feeling isolated,
overwhelmed,
anxious,
uncertain.
We're on an emotional roller coaster.
Feeling about 2,000 emotions in the space of a few minutes, but it's all okay.
There's no right or wrong way to feel right now.
And if you're struggling, there's so much you can do to help yourself out of it. And it doesn't have to be something huge.
The most important thing is,
don't suffer in silence. Talk it out. Talk to a family member, talk to a friend.
If you really find it difficult, talk to someone you don't know.
We've all got our phones and laptops, so people really aren't very far away. And believe me, there's someone out there who'll listen, because you're not alone in what you're feeling.
Just make sure you stay connected with those who can help and those that understand. And on top of that, there's the little things.
Get yourself outside for a dose of vitamin D. Exercise.
Support your community. Eat healthy. Get creative. Try and learn a new skill.
Be grateful for the little things. Try and take it one day at a time, because
a handful of small wins can make a massive difference to how you think your day felt.
If you need support, there's a whole load of virtual welfare activities you can get involved in too, where you can make new friends who might be going through the same thing as you. Check out your Students' Union, see what they're offering online, you might be surprised.
But most importantly, be kind to yourself.
Be kind to other people, stay connected.
And stay safe.
hopefully that gives you a really good flavour of where our content is nowadays. It's come on quite a lot, hopefully you'll agree, in the last couple of years, and hopefully stuff that you will find some benefit from your Students' Union. So that's really everything that I've got to show you today. Hopefully
when the news
is of benefit to you. I'm happy to take questions if you've got any, and try and answer those while we're online.
Great stuff. Thanks, Tony. Does anyone have any questions? Feel free to ask in the Q&A in the chat or raise your hand. There are multiple ways you can raise questions. It's great to see the product developing in a good way. I'll ask a question, Tony, whilst we're waiting for people. Obviously, the old timers amongst us will remember that the NUS card used to fly out the door. The NUS Extra card used to fly out the door due to a couple of really beneficial discounts. I know you've got Co-op and I know you've got a few others in there. Are we expecting anything else to come on board for September?
I mean, we're working as hard as we possibly can to find some tier one, what we call tier one offers. I mean, it is the most challenging time to find brand partners. There are some interesting conversations, but that's as much as I can kind of tell you about that at the moment. There's nothing that is public knowledge yet, I'm afraid.
That's fair enough. I appreciate that.
It has been a challenge. I mean, it's interesting in that there's some stuff that's sort of hidden away that we're trying to work to get a bit more of. So stuff like the Amazon discount is really important. We've just brought on a new one called Food Hub, which I think is quite interesting. It's going to be a rival to Deliveroo and Just Eat, which might really help. But also a lot in terms of that very young market for things like energy bars and protein and things like that, and health stuff. So I think that's a big market that we don't really talk a lot about, that maybe for a younger audience is more important than traditional stuff. So yeah, that's great. And got a question from Andrew, which says the Passmark scheme came along a lot better in recent years. Back when I was 18, 10 years ago, I was turned away from many clubs and pubs with my original Passmark card. Do you think that happens now? Yeah. Do you think it's well received by bruiser bouncers on club doors? What I'm going to do here is that actually I don't want to press the wrong button there. Is that there is on the Pass website there is a way that you can report somewhere that turns you away, and then the people at Pass will get in touch and talk to them and explain what Pass is, so that you can then hopefully go back there and be fine and let in the next time. That's great. Any other questions from anyone? That's not a problem. I'm sure if there are any questions, they can email you, Tony. And I'm just going to put my email chat in. And again, if people need help setting up things like events and groups for the app so that they're ready, please get in touch. And again, coupons, offers. It's about, I think, really rethinking the product. And like you say, in the old days, it was, there was a, you'd have a card printer and you'd create a little bit of a buzz and people would be like, what's that? And that's really changed. So we're having to rethink that approach in terms of why is it that people want the app. And so our expectation is that there will be a number of really good offers within the app when they start. It might not be the big brand offers, but it will be coupons and money off stuff that will make a real difference when people start with their new institution. So yeah, our message is to everybody is to make sure that you are promoting the app primarily, and then the card maybe is a secondary, but if you think the card will sell, make sure it's part of all your freshers activities, your welcome activities, and also make sure, just check that your institution website is listing TOTUM and not NUS Extra, and that all the assets are up to date, so that people are being directed to the right place. That's the most important thing that you can do right now is make sure that everything is up to date on all of your platforms. Follow us on social media, share content that you think is appropriate. Don't share things that isn't appropriate. We do lots of kind of different content for different markets. So there'll be lots of kind of fun, frivolous stuff. There'll be lots of serious stuff as well. So pick and choose what you want. Let us know what you think works. Don't let us know what you think we should change. Please keep engaged with us, and we'll really try and help support the product in both FE and HE.
That's great. And just a final thing, because I'm sure I'm going to ask the questions that are of all the people that aren't in the call. Historically, you used to send out flyers and different things to student unions to help them promote it. I don't know whether they're digital assets or physical assets that you provide people.
So I've shared in the chat, there's a link to the digital assets at the moment. And you guys can steer me better. We think that probably it's going to be very difficult for us to be able to produce a huge amount of physical assets that people won't be able to give away and use, because people won't be on site that much, and actually digital is where it's going to be. So that's what we're planning for. There is some talk about producing some large physical assets, so not flyers and posters, but big things that you can put up in big spaces that kind of really catch the eye of students. Because I mean, all of our intelligence is that actually lots of unions are trying to go paperless. So it probably goes against your environmental policy to be able to generate loads of flyers and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. It is certainly a difficult and different period for people to operate in. So great stuff. So if there are no more questions, I'm going to let everyone either go and find a gin and tonic, a cup of tea, or whatever feels relevant at 4:35 in the afternoon. And hopefully, thank you ever so much, Tony, for being a part of this. And thank you to everyone for joining today. Hopefully see you later on in the week.
Cheers, everyone. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Bye. There we go, all done.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Tony.
Yeah, I'd love to tell you that we've got something super exciting. We're not quite there yet.
No, I appreciate that. It's and until it's signed, sealed, and delivered, it's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah. There's lots of sniffing, but businesses are like, it's difficult. Between you and you, it's difficult in that businesses are stuck in a